everybody, welcome to another edition of Marketing on the Move. I'm Gery Deer, CEO and Creative Director of GLD Enterprises Communications, and today we're going to talk about copywriting. Exciting, right? Well, it is if you're me, because that's mostly what I do. So, do you know what a copywriter is? Do you know what they do? Some people say they're the dark side of creative writers, but I got to tell you, there's nothing more creative than a copywriter. You have to convince somebody of something. It's not merely world building and immersing someone in a story, and that's hard to do as it is, and that's a valuable skill. But in copywriting, you have to be able to use that skill along with the marketing skills that you need in order to convince someone that a product or service is the best thing in the world, and they need to click on that button and order it or download it or whatever they're supposed to do. So let me explain to you a couple of things about copywriting that you may not know. First of all, copywriting is not merely writing taglines. It is not just writing advertising copy for a piece of artwork that goes in the local newspaper. Copywriting can be as involved as doing something like a survey. It can be writing up a full advertising campaign, not just one ad. It can be involved with writing case studies, and it can be involved with writing scripts for television, radio, and video projects. So even the smallest project that a copywriter does has a lot of value. So when you hire a professional copywriter, what you're looking for are essentially three things. They need to be able to write well first. And in writing well in that aspect, you have to be able to know when to break the rules. So sometimes it's okay to not be perfectly grammatically accurate, change things around, be a little colloquial, but you do want to be correct in your writing so it sounds right and it flows well. And so you have to be a very good writer to be able to pull that off. Secondly, you have to understand people very, very well. What makes them do what they do? What makes them make a decision that they make? You have to understand that audience that you're writing to, no matter what that audience happens to be or what your client needs. And then finally, you have to understand marketing and advertising and what the language is of that. So you need to know what a call to action is. You need to know how to hide a call to action in the copy that you're writing. Not necessarily hide it, that's probably not the right way to say it, but you're not going to jump out there and smack somebody in the head with it. You want them to come to it subtly so they make their own decision, but that it's clear enough they understand what it is you're expecting them to do with the material that they're reading. So copywriting has those three aspects to it in a good copywriter. The other thing is they need to be able to not just adjust to the topic, but immerse themselves in it. So one of the things that's really, really hard is taglines. You hear about taglines a lot. A slogan and a tagline, the words are used interchangeably sometimes. But essentially a tagline is that memory hook that gets a customer or a potential customer to remember your product or service over a long period of time. So they hear it and see it enough, and eventually, bang, they know. You see the golden arches. Oh yeah, McDonald's, right? So that's a visual representation, but their tagline underneath it, you're going to see that, and then the tagline, which is right now, I believe it's "I'm loving it." That is one of those things that you got to know how to do that. It isn't cliche, and if you've heard it before when you write it down, or it sounds very familiar to you, somebody probably already used it. So you don't want something like that. You have to come up with something original of your own, because you're going to trademark that. So a copywriter's job in that aspect is to work with the marketing team to come up with what is the concept we're trying to do? What are we trying to sell to people? And what is it we want them to remember? So in the copywriting process, you may write 200, 250, 300 taglines until you find something that resonates. And as the copywriter presents that to the customer, they may like something that sounds kitschy and cliche because they've already seen it somewhere. So you have to be very careful about that. But we also do research as copywriters to make sure what we came up with isn't already out there for someone. So you have to be careful about that as well. So depending on what the material is that the copywriter is putting together, that has a lot to do with what set of skills that they use. Now, we're going to jump ahead a little bit. Copywriting is also one of those things that is incredibly misunderstood. They think it's easy. The customer tends to think it's easy. They think that it's something that your secretary can do in her part-time, administrative assistant, whatever the title is. They can do that in their spare time while they're, taking their lunch break. We can write a tagline, no problem. I'm not going to pay you $500 to do a tagline. Well, okay, you're not going to convince those people. Don't try. It's not worth it. It's that simple. If you have to drag somebody to it, walk away and find another client. Because you want to work with people as a copywriter or as a business. You want to work with a copywriter who understands business. You want to work as a copywriter with a client who understands your value. And your value in all of that as a copywriter, and I'm speaking to both sides of the fence here, I realize, but the copywriter's job or to understanding their value is knowing that they see things from a third eye or a high-level view. They can see it differently than the client does. So it's important that the copywriter understand the business, walk all the way through everything that's asked of them, ask all the questions up front, spend the time on the material, the client needs to give the copywriter adequate time. The copywriter has to set a reasonable amount of time to get it done, and then everybody's got to work together. But the point that I want everybody to understand, a copywriter's value is much higher than people believe. Not everybody can do this. It's very, very hard. And sometimes I believe people think it's just too easy because it looks like you're writing, 2 or 3 lines of material. Well, why can't I have that done in an hour? Well, that 2 or 3 lines may require 2 or 3 hours of research. You don't know. So it's very difficult. So today's segment about copywriting, go out there, look at some of the material that's been written. If you're interested in copywriting work, please give us a call at GLD Enterprises Communications. That's 937-902-4857 or online at gldenterprises.net, and we will get your project up and running. Thanks a lot and have a great day. We'll see you again next time on the road with Marketing on the Move. I'm Gery Deer.